And today you probably thought you were going to come and hear some music, but we decided we would do math instead.
Right.
We all want to do math instead, right? The piece you just heard is called Common Denominator. Who knows what a fraction is? Raise your hand. Keep your hand up if you know what a denominator is. Oh, everybody who seems to know what a fraction is knows that. For people who don't know what a fraction is, maybe, I bet those kindergartners know what a fraction is. It's any number that isn't a whole of something. So a whole pizza is not a fraction. A slice of pizza is a fraction, a half. So the piece we just played is called Common Denominator because there's an underlying rhythm that you heard through the whole thing and almost the same 6 notes through the whole thing, but by mixing them up and keeping the same rhythm, they all had a shared common denominator, which is the bottom number of a fraction. So 1/2, 1/2, raise your hand or just call it out. What's the denominator in 1/2? 2. The 2. So look, we all learned math today. Should we keep doing math or should we learn about the band?
Band.
Let's meet the band. Let's meet the band. Several of you, who's in 3rd grade? Where are my 3rd graders? Next year, you get to choose a class. For the first time, you get to decide, do I want to be in band or do I not want to be in band? Clap really loud if you want to be in band after hearing that. Yay! But now you have to decide, you want to be in band. Some of you have already told me your instrument. But for those who don't know what instrument, I'm going to try to help you decide today. So if you like to be in charge on the playground and you're a loud student, we think that the brass family might be for you. So can I have my trumpets stand up? Those are my trumpets. You're going to get to hear them in a second. And hold your instruments up so we can see it. I feel like I'm blocking it. And now my French horn players, they have a beautiful instrument. It is super, super long, and it's great parents who are here. It's great for college scholarships.
All right.
French horn is great for that, and you get special treatment in the band if you'll play that. And then we have our low brass section, which we really get special treatment if you choose a big instrument. And if you're athletic and don't have any time to fit in band and practice, you can fit in your workout by carrying it to school. So baritone, please stand up. We only have baritone, and Kayla really wants a partner back there. Only one baritone. And now we have the trombone, which we have 2 trombones. One isn't here with us today, unfortunately. But the trombone can do something so cool that nobody else in the band can do because he doesn't have any keys or buttons. So Cole's going to show you why it's super cool to play the trombone. It's a very important skill. So we are going to have the whole brass section show you why we're called brass. It's not just what we're made out of. It's who can blow a raspberry? Let's hear your raspberries. You all could play brass instruments. That's all you need to do. A brass instrument is any instrument that you blow a raspberry, or more professionally we call it buzzing, into a mouthpiece. So they're going to do that for you. Everybody get your mouthpieces out on the count of 4. 1, 2, ready, go. That is how they all started 8 months ago. That's actually, some of them couldn't even do that. It was just, that's it. So we've come a long way, I think. All right, let's hear how they sound playing a piece together. Let's hear it for our brass section. Okay, our next section is actually divided in half because they don't get along. It's the woodwind section. So the woodwind section has reed instruments, which is clarinets and saxophones, and will they please stand up? And then we'll get back to the flutes. Something makes them super special too. Okay, the reeds are basically an instrument that have a little, everybody turn your clarinet around. Let's see, this little piece of wood, that's why it's called a reed, because that is the reed. They put air through it, and the little piece of wood vibrates to make the sound. And actually, Aiden is going to demonstrate how that sounds without the instrument. Do it one more time. So, if you like ducks and like lots of keys, the woodwind section might be for you. And now they're going to play for you. Just the reeds. Ready? Excellent job. Okay, now to see the other half of our woodwind section, or they call it the better half, is the flute players. Oh, I have to get my flute. There's another skill you might already have to play the flute. If you've ever done this, oh, I hope it works. Oh no, I need my dad to do this. He's definitely the expert. That's why I play trumpet. I just demonstrated it. But if you can get a sound out of this, and I have several that have been cleaned and sanitized for later for you to try. Hopefully some of you are better than me with my dry lips. You can play the flute. Flutes get their sound by blowing air across the hole. I think this is a faulty leader. Here we go. Flutes, stand up. Require more air than any instrument in the band, because most of your air goes out into nowhere and just a little bit of the air goes to make your sound. So about the first month of school, raise your hand if you complained about a headache to me during class or said you were going to pass out. We didn't have anybody pass out. I was very worried about that, but it really does take a lot of breath control. There's one more section of the band that I haven't showed you. Who knows what section I just ignored?
Percussion.
The percussion section, and I love that you said percussion and not drums. So many people say, I'm going to play the drums. You don't get to just play the drums. When you're in the percussion section, you have to play all of the drums. You have to play the bells, the cymbals, the buckets, everything. But we're going to save our percussion demonstration for the very end, and instead we are going to play you a song that you all know, but we changed it a little. It's Old MacDonald Had a Band. And I want you to listen closely, because the sections are going to go back and forth. You're going to hear the brass section go against the woodwind section, and then the percussion section. Maybe we'll decide who wins at the very end. I think we will. We'll have a little competition.